You know how 3,000 other YouTubers have already made videos about this topic? Well, this one is nothing like those. Throw away all your preconceived notions because today we're going to be dismantling the entire idea of what it means to be an alpha male. A few years ago, I wrote a skit for YouTube, and it sucked. I loved it though, and I think it's one of the funniest things that I've ever made. I got the idea for it when my mother sent me an article on why men today are less aggressively masculine, whatever that means, and what I should be doing to fix effeminate behaviors in myself. I read through the thing and it talked about being an alpha male and what that means. I'm still not quite sure, it sounds like a furry thing, but now I'm making a video to completely destroy alpha male talking points for the express purpose of shoehorning in my old skit at the end. Over the past few years, a lot of extremely misogynistic content has become more and more popular. I expected that stuff like this would be targeting angry or misguided adults, but I was surprised to learn during my research for this video that it's actually people my age and far younger consuming this content. Sometimes I try to imagine a man or boy taking this dating advice and it just backfiring so hard on them. Like they aim their weapon, fire at their target, but just miss completely and end up hitting someone entirely different. The recoil sends them hurtling back, but the gun was their dick. In order to make things interesting, I created a new Instagram account. Not my main one, which you should follow because I'm super cool and like when people look at me, but an entirely new account. I gave Instagram a fake birthday, a fake name, a fake email. They'll never suspect a thing. The purpose of this is to reset my recommendations and For You page, because I don't want sweet, healthy relationship memes or Elliott Smith vent posts anymore. I want sludge. But also because I want Instagram to think that I'm a younger teenage boy, just to see if the content that they recommend to me is more aggressive, kind of like the aggressive alpha male my mom wanted me to be. I am so sorry, Mom. So I just make the account, set my age to 15, and wait. And holy shit, did Zuckerberg absolutely deliver. After scrolling for just a few minutes on the FYP, I started getting some weird content. I go in there, and of course, here come the alligator tears, this and this and this. Next thing you know, got her bent over. Oh, he starts hitting her. My nephew can hear it. I come out. He looked like he saw a fucking ghost because he's traumatized, because of course he is. Jesus Christ. And I made the mistake of saving it. It's likely that Instagram decided since I saved it, I really wanted to see more. I saved a bunch more. I barely remember them, and we're going to go through them together and see if we agree with anything, if we vibe with any of this spectacular content. Trigger warning for stupid ideas, because y'all know how much I love those.
3 emojis men should never use when texting a woman.
We're starting off fairly tame with something no one has ever cared about in the history of the entire world. If you or someone you love knows a man who thinks emojis make them less of a man, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Number 1, anything with a monkey face.
What?
This looks massively immature and feminine. Ick score, 9 out of 10.
Why does a monkey face equate to immaturity? Can be used to set a playful tone. What the hell? Why does that set a playful tone? Am I just stupid? What's going on here? Also, you may be wondering, what the hell is an ick score? If you're not, as they say, in the know, a few years ago the term ick got popularized as a way of expressing an abrupt feeling of disgust towards someone that you were previously attracted to. So let's say you're seeing someone for a while, you plan to go over to their apartment, you get there, and they just sit around watching alpha podcasts all day. Ick score, 17 out of 10. Because if it was any higher, a self-described alpha might not want to fuck it. What really baffles me though is that this guy goes on to give a few more examples, and yet he doesn't give any indication of an ick score.
Number 2, red hearts. If you are gonna use a heart, only use the black one.
How am I supposed to know how much my red heart emoji's turning off my partner if I don't get my ick score? Hey babe, my heart is black, and my soul is also black. Black as the tar in my heroin, which is called black tar heroin for a reason, because it's really black.
Number 3, any emoji that shows too much excitement, emotional vulnerability, or romantic interest.
Now boys, remember the golden rule when communicating with your partner. Never be excited, vulnerable, or romantic. As we all know, women hate that. I love how we went from number 1, monkey, number 2, red heart emoji, to number 3, any emoji really, just all of them. We don't even know which these are supposed to be referencing. It would be really nice if he could give us some, like, perfect examples.
Big smiley face, sad face, kissing emoji, eggplant, eggplant are all perfect examples.
Eggplant?
Eggplant,
Really, eggplant.
eggplant,
Don't smile, don't be sad, don't kiss, and heaven forbid you as a man have
eggplant.
a dick. That is just far too feminine.
You're gonna notice that women are gonna start respecting you more.
I wonder if this guy's account has any other nuggets of truth.
Here's why every man should sleep with at least 10 women.
I wonder if he feels the same way about women, but let's see why he devised this strategy.
The average male body count is around 5, while the average divorce rate is above 50%.
You do the math. I don't know that those statistics are remotely related, but that's okay because they're also wrong.
Women do not want to know the truth, bro. Sometimes you just gotta tell her what she wants to hear, bro.
Women like being lied to. Okay, bro. I think that's enough out of you. What do you say? There you go. But hold on, I'm just now noticing this, but this guy has a bunch of videos on his account that are set up like interviews, but he's just talking to himself.
Do you think Lizzo is a 10? No. Hell no. Should women get tattoos?
Is that not just his voice? Like, imagine doing this. Do you think Daniel Profeta is highly attractive? Yes, the male archetype, actually. That's so cool. There can only be one!
Should women get tattoos?
Kim Kardashian once said, you don't want to put bumper stickers on a Ferrari.
I'm editing right now, but I just want to point out the dude is covered in tattoos. The fucking irony! I went a little further into this guy's account and discovered that he has a consulting service where he gives you dating advice and all you need is $7,500. My working theory is that all of these types of accounts are scams working to funnel money from gullible people's pockets.
No, you don't tell your wife or your girlfriend your troubles.
142,000 likes, that checks out. Imagine being so scared of women that you can't even talk to them.
If you make her a rock or assume a masculine role at all, at any level in your relationship, that's the beginning of the end of the relationship.
I'm going to get real for a second and stop horsing around.
Is when that stranger behind the counter gave me that free churro.
But I really despise this. Isn't one of the best parts of having a good relationship with someone, whether it's romantic or platonic, the sharing of experiences and mutually finding comfort and strength within each other? To deprive yourself of that is not only idiotic, it's also just sad. I honestly feel bad for this guy who you might notice is an older man. Try getting that far in life without gaining the wisdom of how to hold healthy relationships and instead just retaining the bitterness of a 14-year-old Redditor. I feel like that would be almost as difficult as actually talking to a woman.
Thank me later.
Yeah, good luck, Sultan of Savage. To add on to my last point, if you are a human being, no matter who you are, and your partner only wants you to do emotional labor and never lets you rest or even talk about the challenges that you yourself face, in my opinion, then that's not the one for you. That's enough relationship advice from Daniel, though. I'm gonna trademark that and make it into a series. The next few videos I want to show you are from different types of accounts. Up till now, the main asinine talking points detrimental to having any healthy relationship have been by men for men, like trucks and beer. But now we're going to look at a few videos outside the typical reach of the manosphere. Those videos being trad wives. According to Wikipedia, a trad wife or traditional wife typically denotes a woman who believes in and practices traditional sex roles. The whole subculture is based on advocating for patriarchal traditional values, particularly a traditional view of wives as mothers and homemakers. This housewife aesthetic has since spread throughout the internet through social media, featuring women extolling the virtues of behaving as the ideal woman. I have some strong opinions about this type of content.
Show me an alpha man that is in his true alpha and watch me become a sweet, soft little girl. Then a woman deassembles her masculine energy and she falls into her feminine and she becomes a child.
Fucking what? Let's first look at a few examples before I start boring you with opinions. I don't submit to my husband because I want to. I don't want to. I don't submit to my husband because I like to. I don't like to. I don't submit to my husband because it makes me feel good. It doesn't make me feel good. I submit to my husband because the scriptures command me to. I do it out of obedience to Christ. This is just horrible, and I sincerely hope that this poor lady gets out of this fucking situation. If your God's idea of love is to shackle you with being treated as less than human by your partner, then I don't think that God is worthy of any sort of allegiance. Tips for welcoming your husband home excellently. Greet him at the door with a hug and a kiss. Aw, that's sweet. Clean the house beforehand. Don't nag him with chores right when he gets home. Dress to lead the conversation and groomed. I like to imagine that these videos of a woman doing something and she's not saying anything and just like text is on the screen are made by men. Like they used stock footage. That's a fantastic idea. This is kind of the issue with the whole trad wives movement, isn't it? If you want a more traditional lifestyle and you're rich enough to afford to live on a ranch or a country mansion, growing your own food and living off the land while your husband provides for you in a more traditional sense, then all the power to you. Thanks to feminism and the hard work of millions of people over the past few hundred years, you have the power to make that choice. But this fetishizing of tradition to the detriment of your personhood and independence, then selling it online to a bunch of misogynists or incels is harmful. And the results are people being treated like this poor woman is and believing that it's justified just because they saw some Instagram reels glorifying it and being told that it's the only way that they'll be useful. But we're getting into some pretty heavy territory now, I'll admit. Who wants that in their YouTube video?
How to fuck her.
Sir, this is a Wendy's, not even a hi, hello, how you doing?
When you come to a girl's apartment, the first thing you do is sit on the couch, lean back and say, "Katie, give me some water, will you?"
Hey, Katie, give me a glass of water.
Who the fuck is Katie?
This account here and many others are another style of alpha male videos masquerading as advice called dark male psychology or dark female psychology. Here we have AI generated voiceovers basically reading Andrew Tate excerpts and telling you how to manipulate and control women, and it's pretty disturbing.
When she brings you water, immediately in her head she thinks,
Why am I bringing him water? Is he my husband?
You can never, ever, ever bring anyone water. Otherwise, they're your husband. That's what I've learned. That's my takeaway. He goes on to say that if she won't get it for you, the water, that you must keep nagging her about it.
if she continues to act like a bitch, just say, "This place sucks." You must make her do favors, just like a golden retriever.
First of all, I beg your pardon. What did Katie ever do to deserve this? And the comparing women to dogs thing is, admittedly, disgusting. But I have to ask, do we often make our dogs get us water? I don't think that's something dogs do. Maybe I'm wrong. Comment below if you make your dogs bring you your robes and whiskey in the morning.
Eventually, after enough favors, sucking your dick doesn't seem so far from happening.
Well, I brought you water, so we are married. I'm not convinced the guy who wrote this has ever had sex before. Like, he straight up just has no idea what it is. Genuine love and affection? I've never heard of it. I'm too busy trying to put a ring on it. Or should I say, a collar on it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that he's never spoken to a woman before. But if any of my younger male audience is watching this, I want to do you a favor. So I asked my girlfriend for help, got together a group of them being girls, and we're about to interview them completely blind. They have no idea what the questions are going to be or even the topic of discussion, and we're just going to see how it goes. I think it'll be funnier if you guys know in advance what the discussion questions/topics are going to be. So in the interest of transparency, and so you can laugh when this goes horribly wrong, first I'm going to ask what they look for in a partner. Then if they got everything that they wanted, would an emoji like a monkey or a heart make them break up? I need this to be super off-putting, and I want to see how they react to an out-of-pocket question. So I'm going to ask them if size matters, but then clarify that I mean the size of an object that's totally irrelevant. And finally, I'm going to ask if they think that women ruin the world. Here's hoping they say yes. Imagine I'm a researcher and you guys are my, for lack of a better word, guinea pigs. And we're just gonna
totally
test some
not
stuff.
ominous.
Not
what?
Wait, what was that?
Pardon? We are 5 seconds in.
So we all know that people, especially like women, have like the same preferences, all of them across the board. What do you typically like look for in like a fulfilling relationship?
Romantically, I guess I'm just generally looking for somebody I already would probably consider a friend. There's not a lot of stuff I'm looking for in a person. I primarily just find it as I get to know them. Like,
Okay.
sure, I'd like to have some genuinely shared common interests. I, for a very brief time, was in a small relationship, and that relationship wasn't really working well. The big breaker was the lack of communication. The moment he refused to talk to me about something, I broke it off.
So you would want your partner to like share stuff with you, including like experiences or difficulties or just anything really. Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of with Cloudy on this one, where, I mean, if we're friends, then I'd look for the same stuff in a romantic relationship as a regular old platonic friendship. It's just a level of like more intimacy and commitment when it comes to a romantic relationship, but it's kind of just like a breakdown of, are you like a good listener and a good communicator? Which sounds really basic, but it's hard to come by.
Does nice ass count? No, it's just my advanced level of thinking. One of the biggest things that I look for in friends and my beautiful, wonderful husband that really brings me to a person is, I guess, compatibility, common interests, common vibe. So like if you get excited when I get excited. But also the biggest thing I think is loyalty and being able to say that, yes, this is my partner. We know that together our commitment is just unwavering and we love each other.
What I just heard, since I'm a fantastic listener, is that you all want someone who's 8 feet tall and makes $7 million a month.
Oh yeah, if you don't make at least $7 million every month, then I'm immediately going to block you and never speak to you again.
My ring needs to be at least
Because
half
that
your
makes-
income.
Imagine that you have everything that you just said you wanted in an ideal partner. What emoji would make you break up with this partner?
That's a really good question. And the
Break
first thing
up?
that came to my head was the Nazi flag.
So if, say, your partner sent you like a red heart emoji, you wouldn't like hate them forever immediately?
Cute.
No, that's a red
sweet.
heart.
They're
Really?
telling you that they love you. Unless
Interesting.
it comes with like some kind of graphic threat, like I'm gonna take out your heart, and then they send that emoji.
Honestly, if they said they'd take out my heart, I'm still down.
Really?
You'd be down if
Wait,
it's anything
hold
related
on.
to Daniel. You're doing, oh my gosh.
So you're typing in the background.
Bella, if you're gone in the next 3 days, I don't know.
My next question, this is very important, all right? I need you to pay very close attention. Does size matter in terms
2
of
inches goes a long way.
receptacles? Like, are you more of a mug or a glass person in terms of like what you hold various liquids in? I'm watching this back right now, and I have no fucking clue what the point of this question was, or even what I was trying to say with it, but their responses are so funny.
As long as you can use it and it's clean.
TK, I don't think you understood the question.
I did not. I completely thought we were talking about penises.
Wow.
Wait, are we talking about boobs? Because I
That's-
could talk about boobs too.
You don't have them. What are you going to talk about?
The fact that, like,
Damn!
okay,
Are you saying that you're shoving either a glass or a mug up there? Because either way,
Get your fucking brains out of the
Anything
gutter.
that
Do you believe that women have ruined the world?
oh no, absolutely, definitely. Yeah, giving birth to men, bad move, guys.
So I'm wondering what I can learn from all this. First of all, don't send your son an article, mom. Secondly, if you're looking to start dating or make friends of any gender, be a decent person, not an asshole, and treat them like a human being. But we all knew that. The far more insidious thing to recognize is that I didn't need to really seek out this content. All I had to do was interact with it once when it showed up on my brand new account. My experience echoes the findings of this paper, a study conducted by the University of Kent, which found that young men and boys are being targeted by this type of content at alarming rates. And although the videos that I've shown you today are fairly lighthearted, or at least laughably terrible in execution, you have to keep in mind that when you're 13 years old and have no life experience, that distinction may be very difficult to make. It's easy for us as adults to look at this and say, well, obviously this is bullshit. But to these kids, it's not. These ideas, which once only circulated in fringe forums like 4chan, are now being inserted into mainstream media and mainstream thought patterns using memes and groupthink that targets the lonely. The study created 4 archetypes of people that this content might get pushed to flesh out what interests people watching this stuff might have. The first being individuals that are experiencing a sense of loneliness. They might have low self-esteem, experience bullying, and have high rates of internet use. The second are individuals who are focused on development of mental health knowledge and mental self-improvement, who watch content that provides negative opinions about society and may include extreme perspectives and conspiracy theories. The third archetype are people interested in fitness and bodybuilding, who are already very susceptible to the idea that looks matter in relationships above everything else, and that there's an actual standard for what is and isn't attractive aesthetically to all people that applies everywhere all of the time. And finally, there's archetype 4, which is a person who's already familiar with manosphere content and is actively looking for more. In this, you might notice that the algorithm is targeting people with no sense of identity, who already have some fairly negative opinions about the world and are looking for somewhere to place blame. Keeping in mind how people often look for answers to validate what they already believe to be true, would you be shocked to learn that the study found that on average, if you create a new TikTok account and interact with anything that suggests you fall into one of these categories, within 5 days, the percentage of videos on your account promoting malicious content goes from 13 to a whopping 56%. And what's really interesting is it's not obvious if you're not aware of it. Many of the videos claim to represent women and all female perspectives, then go on to insert intentional insecurity as well. So on one hand, you're shown videos of random girls saying that they won't date a man who makes less than $1 million a year and is 8 feet tall. And then on the other, you'll have people like Andrew Tate explaining how women are entitled and get everything they want and men get nothing. So you should hate women and see them as less than people. Then you'll see a video saying women are stupid. Then 2 videos later, see a clip from a podcast where a girl can't count to 10 and the men all make fun of her for it. Then a few weeks later, for those of you paying attention, you'll discover that the podcast in question was actually setting up these situations to specifically clip them out of context, and that the situations themselves and the words the people were saying were scripted content for paid actors, specifically designed to feed into the insecurities and arrogance of people who are already dumb enough to fall for it. The people conducting the Safer Scrolling study interviewed many representatives of social media companies, but more importantly, they interviewed actual kids who this stuff is affecting. This young person is describing assumptions about female attraction to men based on a narrow set of physical characteristics which are like this or like that. And this sentiment directly echoes incel ideologies regarding women's selection of male partners, which is often taken from eugenics concepts privileging whiteness and hypermasculine traits. This logic claims that women prioritize male physical appearance above all else, and if an individual does not fit into these narrow physical standards, that they can never improve their chances of having a meaningful relationship. The effect of consuming this concept for boys can be twofold. First, that they developed prejudices against women for this supposed rejection, and further, that they feel that they will forever be undesirable and alone. Now, for people who already watch me, I'm kind of just preaching to the choir here. But on the off chance that someone watches this who is currently on the fence or just about to kind of slip down the rabbit hole, and I don't know what to tell you other than believing this garbage can and will make you miserable and just completely ruin your life. Please listen to me. There are more bad faith actors in this space than in any I have ever witnessed in my entire life. I know I haven't been alive for all that long, but Jesus, man. I'd quicker answer a spam call and give them my social security information than give these posts any space in my brain, except of course to make fun of them. It's malicious, it's predatory, and if I'm being honest, 12-year-olds really shouldn't have unlimited access to the internet anyways. Okay, now that we've learned all that, it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for. I really wanted to just get into the heads of the people that I'm making fun of, you know? I wanted to understand what it meant to be an alpha when my mom sent me that article proclaiming that I needed to be less submissive and breedable. So here's the skit that I made back then. Here's hoping it saves you from a grisly fate. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniel and I make music, and here today I wanted to talk about, one second. Oh, my mom just sent me a message on Instagram. I love that my mom follows me on all my social media platforms and watches everything that I do. And everything I say. With one all-seeing... So she says this looks like it might be helpful for me, and she linked an article. That's really nice of her, looking out for me. Wonder what this... How to be a more alpha male. I'm sure this will be very helpful. Let's go over this really quick. How to be a more alpha male. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. First off, don't wear jewelry, especially jewelry from Ghost Jewels. In fact, it's best to burn any jewelry you own. Secondly, real men all have very long hair. They just generally hide it away, either using an invisibility cloak or simply with a hat. Only the top 1% of men can do one whole push-up. And that is a scientifically proven fact. If you can do one push-up, you're a real man. Painting your nails is for girls. Oh, this is it, this is it, this is it. Here we go. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. 1, 2. Real men chop their fingers and toes off and make a salad with them. On the topic of girly stuff, the most testosterone-fueled dude would never like a girl. That's far too girly. Real men only like men. Alpha males assert dominance by having big guns. Then they go out into the woods somewhere and hide until an animal frolics past. Then they shoot them from a distance. If you have any small animals, put them in a box. Then throw the box off a high place. Speaking of high, real men love pain and suffering. And don't do drugs. Instead of doing cocaine, snort pepper.
Holy wow.
Only fake boys care what people think. Real men don't give a single damn. Unless someone has an opinion on their opinions. Watching American Psycho is for people without taste. If you want to watch something raw, funny, enlightening, and entertaining, watch a Serbian film. Twilight is required watching for real men because it builds character. Also, alpha males are Team Jacob for obvious reasons. If you are a certified Chad, the things you do are rad, but the thoughts you think are sad. Bottle up your emotions and never express yourself.
I'm gonna show you this time.
Real men drink all their sorrows away with a bottle of scotch. But even realer men drink all their cares away with a lot of lemon juice. Here's a hot, sexy sex tip for all you alpha males out there. Real men let their girls peg them. Those are the rules. I don't make them up. The worst thing that a man can do is be a cheater. So before you cheat her, leave her. Name your son Sue before going to the store to get the milk. Alpha males don't care why Dre's records sold so well. They only listen to Eminem rap about Vicodin and homosexuals. Finally, and this one is directed at you specifically, Daniel, don't cry to Elliott Smith, Car Seat Headrest, and Phoebe Bridgers. Real men only listen to Metallica and Hobo Johnson. And in conclusion, we can all come to the agreement that calling someone an alpha or a beta or whatever the hell is similar to astrology. It's like astrology for men, pretty much. So, you know, do with that as you will.
Normally I'll show for a few seconds the patrons that are at like the
the higher tier. There's 2 tiers over there. I don't know, I just kind of wanted to thank everyone who has gone out of their way to support me over there in this one. So, really quickly, I'd like to thank Catmint TV, Dave K, Elke, George Wodika, Joseph A. Miller, Nud Rasmussen, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Mr. Fox, Pandora Z, Stardrop, Tomby, Tom Dinder, and ZK. Really appreciate you guys. See you in the next video, which is probably going to be a little bit different, more of a video essay, probably more minimal editing. I'm currently in need of an editor. If anyone wants to try their hand at editing for me, you should message me on Instagram. This is a paid position and I'm desperate.